Okay, so I just wanted to show you ways we could control the camera. So you could add multiple cameras to a scene. So for example, I will add a camera. Here is my camera one. I'm gonna right click and set active camera so I could see through it. So one way I could control my camera, if I look through it, if I press N on the keyboard, I should get this menu right here. So if I go to view, could expand this a little bit. You should see there's a button called camera to view. So if I click on that, you could see now I control the camera like how I would fly around normally, but now I'm controlling the camera. So one thing we could do that's kind of fun is I could use keyframes for my camera. So I could turn auto key on. I'll just move it a little bit so that I get a keyframe here. So I could go to frame 250, for example, and I could move my camera around. So say, at 250 I want my camera to be here. So you could see now I have like a sweep of my camera, and I could add more keyframes to it. So say if I want to try to keep my robot into frame at all times, I can move my camera around over here and get the robot this way, right? So you could see. And say maybe I want to do this, I could do that. You can see I could start adding all these keyframes and get this camera movement. And say maybe here I can zoom in a little bit. Right, so you could see I can animate my camera to get different angles, and maybe back here I can move it over here and zoom out a little bit. All right. Right, so when I'm done with that, I could just click this. Let's, we could look into our camera, see what my new animated camera looks like. All right. So you can see we could get some interesting camera angles by animating our camera's movement. Just by using auto key and flying the camera around. Right. Another thing we could do, so maybe we want multiple camera angles. So for example, let's go to, I'm gonna turn off my auto keying, and I'm gonna add a new camera. So now we have camera 2. I'll right click and set active camera. I'm just gonna use camera to view so I could position it a little bit faster. So say at frame 60, I want this angle. So if I go to marker right here, I can add a marker. Well, I could bind camera to markers right over here. Bind camera to marker. So you could see right down here it says camera 002. And I could go here and go back to camera 1. And I could bind that. So now you could see it's camera 001. So now you could see if I scroll, I'm looking at camera 1, and then when I get to 60, I'm looking at camera 2. So say once I get over here, maybe I want to change back to camera 1. So I could go to marker again, find camera marker, and you could see that, I jump between my cameras. Right, so say maybe we make a new camera, so I will add camera. Right now I have camera 3. I can again click on it, right click, set to active camera, so I'm looking through. I still have camera to view open, so I could, maybe that camera's looking over here at my robot this way. Again, I can go to marker, I can bind camera to markers, right? And you can see we can move that around. All right. So say like right here, I could go back to camera 1, so I'll just click that and I'll go to marker, bind camera to markers. Now you can see it goes back to camera 1, so I could have all these different cameras and these different camera changes to help make my animation more interesting. So I'd love if you would try to play with some camera movements, animate your cameras, maybe try some camera switches. Again, if we just press N on the keyboard, that toggles this menu under view and then camera to view, and we can control the cameras like how we fly in Blender.